Hi everybody, this is Angel Arts and welcome to yet another video where we are going to be interviewing finalists for the upcoming Pokemon Tabletop campaign. I am here joined by the Sylphwind, also known as Petra. How would you like me to refer to you in this
Either's
video?
fine.
Let's call you the Sylphwind, just
Okay.
because that's your YouTube name. So, the Sylphwind, as many of you may have seen if you looked at her
Well, why
audition.
wouldn't they want to?
Yes, they. You would have known that she admits that she's not super familiar with Pokemon, but knowing the kind of person she is, she definitely did her research, and a lot of people felt that she had a very strong presence and a very strong addition. So she's one of the finalists, and we're going to go ahead with the out of character questions. So, um, so I guess my first question then, Petra, despite the fact that that Pokemon you're not as familiar with, given the research that you've done, what are some of the things that you've found to be intriguing or you found to be interesting about this franchise?
Just how greatly the world can vary from one game to the next. Every game, it's a new scenario, it's new bad guys, it's something new coming into the world.
Petra, what is it about tabletop gaming that you're passionate about?
Camaraderie. I am a very quiet, very guarded person, so it's really hard for me to sometimes reach out and make friends. And doing the 2016 auditions, I just realized, oh wow, I'm in a really, really bad place. And doing tabletop gaming has helped get some of those walls down. It lets me let people in a lot quicker because we're all speaking the same flavor of geek in a way. It's not, I'm really passionate about this. Let me talk about it. And everyone's like, okay, go. We're going to go over here now.
Okay. Petra, what do you believe makes you a good player to play with?
I'm super passionate. I genuinely care about everyone's character. I want to hear all the backstories. It's not about, I want to be center stage. It's, yes, I will get my moment, but I really want to know their story.
Hmm. And what do you believe is would be the biggest challenge for you as a player, and how do you hope to overcome said challenge?
I partially answered this. I'm very quiet, very guarded. I do have a lot of social anxiety. And like I've said, just keep going. If I am fortunate enough to get to be here this time, it's a year-long campaign. I will get time to get to know everyone. And we're all going to be speaking the same language. This is
Okay.
all something we're really passionate about.
Okay. And then, since this is a unique campaign in that the people who are chosen get to play essentially two characters, their own main character and somebody else's Pokemon, um, my question then is what Pokemon, if you could be any Pokemon in the franchise, which one would you like to be and why?
Oh, this was so hard. Okay, I can research. Let's research. Questionnaires. There's all kinds of quizzes. What Pokemon are you? I spent about an hour doing this and didn't get the same result twice. So it's like, okay, who do I know that knows Pokemon? Joseph from not Rebelling Dead Room. Red Letters campaign. He knows this. Okay, out of these Pokemon, what do you think I am? None of those. Okay, which
Hmm.
one do you think I am? Chansey. I
Oh,
don't know what
okay.
that is. I will go research this. Oh, it's so cute. And it carries stuff with it. I do not leave the house without my bag. And then I read up what it carries, a healing egg. And I'm like, yeah, I also carry healing devices,
There we
aspirin, and
go.
band aids. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I totally believe that. And then read the description of in the wild, if it comes across someone that's sick or hurt, they will go out of their way to try to help them. I'm like, yes, I would also do that. And then the follow up to the description of, but when try captured, it will run away. And I'm like, yeah, I've also done that. Of why are you trying to be my friend? I gotta go. I don't understand.
I like that. That actually sounds very accurate. That's very, very cool. Awesome. Well, kudos to your friend. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, that's it for the out of character questions. So now we can jump right into the in character. You said Tiffany is a beautician by day, but what she really wants to do is she wants to be a beauty pageant, or I'm sorry, Pokemon pageant,
Good call.
Pokemon contest consultant. Um, can we pretend, just for the purposes of this interview, that she has not gotten the job, but she's pursuing said job? She
Hmm.
wants to get the job.
Of course.
So let's say she's applying for this position, and the way in which to apply is that she has to go through a hiring agency.
Okay.
And so she is going, at this point, she does have you. It's
Hmm.
probably in its Pokeball, most likely.
Yes.
And she is going to go to this agency. She has her papers to apply. She goes through the double doors slide open. It's a really newly built building. It's so in that case, it's a bit sterile, with the exception of the fact that there are a lot of posters hung around. Inspirational. You can get the job of your dreams, and maybe there's a bulletin board on the side for the community. The public can just staple on whatever jobs that they want. So you go in, Tiffany, and um, you bring your papers over, and maybe you hand them in to the gentleman at the front desk, and he looks you up and down. And I'm assuming Tiffany she has a very unique sense of fashion. So
Yes.
what do you picture her wearing at this
Actually,
point?
today, since she's going for interview, a little bit more classic, simple white button-down shirt, blazer over it, pencil skirt. On her
Okay.
arm or tucked up under her arm, a designer shoulder bag, and under the other arm, curiously, a rolled-up mat of some sort.
Okay. Okay. The gentleman looks you up and down and says, "Wow, you're one of the better dressed people who come in here."
People don't get dressed up. I will not understand people. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
He sort of looks like he's half listening to what you're saying, but he goes through your paperwork, and then he takes a big stamp, and he stamps the papers that you have, and then he hands the application back to you and says, "All right, miss. The next step is to go through your screening process."
All right, would you mind just 1 second, though, real quick? I'm sorry. I got called into work this morning and I had to drop my Pokemon at daycare, and I just feel bad. I've left him in his ball all day. Do you mind?
By all means.
Oh, thank you. Gets up from her seat, lays out the mat, lands it down, kneels, make sure, okay, it's flat, good. Gets up, goes over to her bag, rumbles around till she pulls out her ball, pops it open, then goes and kneels down in front of you. Okay, buddy, listen, stay on the mat, okay? All right, you, good boy. And I keep forgetting how gluttonous you are. Still, good boy. Gets up, goes back to the seat. I'm sorry. He gets so restless.
It does this whole thing doesn't seem to phase the gentleman. I mean, he's probably seen something like this before, although he will say, "What is that mat for specifically?"
Oh, he's a grimer, and like I said, he's a little bit more gluttonous than one would think. So if he moves around, he tends to leave a trail behind himself. I've just find it's better just to bring mats and just leave stuff down so no one has to clean up after me, or I don't have to clean up after him. Besides this, where it's just okay, roll it up, go home, wash it down, no problem.
I'm sure the custodian would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Also, do you notice the scent? Cucumber melon, right? Ordinarily, these guys smell horrible because they tend to eat pollution and sludge. But I've discovered since I've had him that if I changed his diet to more natural foods that are starting to degrade, he actually smells better.
Impressive.
I
He
know.
says.
And that's part of the skills I would bring as a consultant for different pageants. Knowing how to make the Pokemon their best selves.
With all due respect, ma'am, you don't have to convince me. I'm just the guy at the front desk.
Ah,
I just
I am
tell
wasting my
people when
sales
to go.
pitch.
The person that you need to impress is Madame Vu. She's just down the hall, room 797. You
All right.
can't miss it. Um, Oh, and ma'am, just to warn you, this entire screening process is something that our organization is just trying out. It's brand new. It might seem a little unorthodox, and when he says the word unorthodox, he's again looking down at the Grimer on the mat. But just go with it is my suggestion.
All right. Thanks for the heads up.
Tiffany walks down the hall, and eventually she's going to reach a door, and like masking taped on the door is a folder, that the kind that you might get from a filing cabinet, with the numbers 797 written in magic marker. It's sort of like half. It's gotten loose a little bit, so if you were to observe and take a peek behind said folder, you would see that it is taping over a plate, a nameplate, of which the nameplate says janitor.
Unorthodox indeed. Let's just smooth that back down. No one need know. All right, you ready? All right, buddy, you got this. Let's go.
You swing open the door, and the first thing that you notice is that you get a whiff of not cucumber and mint, but a whiff of incense, a relatively pungent incense, not like off-putting, but just like, ooh, that's pretty strong. And you can hear some odd, bizarre music, maybe of a genre that you're not super familiar with. And directly in front of you is a beaded curtain.
Hello?
Ah, my next appointment. Come in. Come in, dear. Come in.
Goes in, closes door quietly behind her, heads over to the voice. Hi, I'm Tiffany Benoit.
So you go through the curtain, and you hold out your hand for a shake, and what you see before you is a dimly lit room, lit only by candles. There is a small, well, no, not small, large round table in front of you with a crystal ball on it, and this woman who is ostentatiously dressed in she's got numerous bracelets, she's got like numerous necklaces, and she has this like purple headdress around on her head, and she's got very dark skin and very long but well manicured
Already appreciates.
fingernails, long but well manicured fingernails, and she basically, they have the I don't know if you are familiar with it, but they have the psychic symbol, like psychic type Pokemon symbol on her fingertips. So they are purplish. The psychic, like, I think symbols has like an eye on it, I guess representing the mind's eye.
Yeah.
And she says, have a seat, and your screening can begin. I am Madame Vu, Deja'Vu, but you can call me Madame Vu, and she will shake your hand.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Madame Vu.
She says, Tiffany, without even looking at your papers, she says without skipping a beat, Tiffany Benoit, I presume. And she smiles at you with a toothy grin. One tooth in particular is made of gold. You will sit down, and she will say, I know all, see all, as it pertains to your eligibility of this job, and my purpose is to ask you a few simple questions. As long as you answer honestly, this entire process will be very smooth. So,
Right.
let us begin. She slams her fingertips down onto the table, and she starts...
Do be careful of your manicure, dear.
No, I appreciate it. She says, I have my nails done every month over at whatever your beautician spa's name is.
Sola Spa.
At Sola Spa. They have a very good discount this week, dear.
I'm aware.
Ah, So you do. So you do.
Well, you don't stay the best about knowing how to draw people in.
I see. I see. Oh, you are a very clever young woman.
Not according to my dad, but he wanted me to be a lawyer.
Clever enough, though, that you came up with some very interesting ways to take care of a recent creature that you've adopted.
Yeah, you could say that. Pat's oozed head.
Rather unwittingly. And then at that, you kind of goes. "Bleh?" She says unwittingly.
I know, she's good.
She then says, "My biggest question is, first of all, what exactly did you were you thinking honestly through your head when you were deciding whether to take this creature in?"
Um,
Given your profession, dear.
I know. Cards on the table. I a little backed into a corner. I found a cracked egg. I didn't know what it was. I took it to get taken care of, and while I was waiting for them to do treatment, there was a journalist there who used to know my mom back when she was doing her pageant days, and they came over and started talking to me, asked me questions about it, and then when the nurse came back and said it was fine, just, well, are you going to adopt it? And I kind of ended up having to say yes to save face a little, but he's growing on me. Even if it's so weird going places with him at times. We do get looks, don't we, boy? Oh, cuddle puddle.
My next question, she says, is why do you believe you are best suited for this position?
I am used to dealing with high stakes circumstances. My last 2 years, when I was actively doing pageants, I have an undefeated winning streak with gold, my mom's Pokemon. And the fact that I can represent someone else's Pokemon for 2 years, never always coming in first, I think says something, as they usually have such strong ties to their owners, or partners, trainers, whatever it is we're calling each other.
She smiles and then says, "So, if you are given this position, what role do you see your creature to play in this job?"
My moral support, my reminder, be nicer to people, 'cause sometimes I'm not. My way to show people that you might walk in with this perception of, ew, that's gross, and this little guy is charming.
Final question. And I want you to dig deep into your heart and your soul. What deeply do you hope you will get out of this experience in this position?
That's a really good question. The chance to get to meet more people, the chance to get to interact with a bunch of more Pokemon, be able to further my education understanding of this is what it means to give a good performance. Because, yeah, aquatic types, I know like that. Everything else is more, they have fur, you should brush it. Yes.
I have no more questions, darling. But I have one more thing that I would like you to do before you leave my presence. A psychological exercise, if you will. Tell me, are you familiar with the 3-card tarot fortune?
Not really.
Then let me explain it to you then. a tarot deck from which 3 cards are drawn. 1 card represents your past, 1 card represents your present, and the final card represents your future. We are not going to do that today. Instead, we will do somewhat the reverse. And out of character, she pulls out a small deck of cards and hands the deck to you. And every single card is representing one of the types, one of the Pokemon types. I want you to look through this deck of cards, and I would like for you to select 1 card to represent your past, 1 to represent your present, and 1 to represent your future. And interpret them for me, please.
Okay. For past... for past, water, it's the Pokemon type both my parents have. Present, poison, it's the type you is. Future. Well, if you don't think it sounds a little bit too much like brown nosing, psychic.
And why is that, dear?
If I end up working here, we'll end up talking a lot, clearly. And right down to your nails, you're psychic.
How very observant. Yes, very observant. I'd like to believe that that is a very good trait to have for a consulting position. Very well. Your screening is complete, and I, great pleasure, am going to approve you for the last and final step. And she takes another stamp, and she stamps your documents. She hands the documents back to you, and she says, the last thing that you need to do before you leave the premises is to just go next door. There will be a gentleman with a camera waiting to record you, and this video recording will be sent directly to your prospective employer. I just want you to make your personal pitch as to why they should select you for this position.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Why should I be chosen? Why shouldn't I be chosen? I'm a proven winner. And I'm not saying that to sound arrogant or standoffish. I just am. Am I going through some changes right now? Yes, but as a person, we should all be going through changes. We should be continuously trying to grow and become new and better people. I mean, look at Cuddle Puddle here, my little Grimer ew. If you would have told me last year at this time this would be in my life, I would have said you're lying and crazy and go away. And now he's here, and he is such a big part of my life.